New Orleans is known for its jazz, its culture, its ghosts, but there's one place in the French Quarter where history and horror are forever chained together. A mansion so infamous, even time avoids it. This is the story of Madame Delphine LaLaurie and the spirits said to still scream behind her walls. In the 1830s, Delphine LaLaurie was the toast of Creole society. Wealthy, beautiful, connected, her parties were legendary. Her home at 1140 Royal Street was the crown jewel of the French Quarter. But behind her charm was a cruelty that would stain the city forever. Whispers began to spread of strange sounds from the attic, of enslaved servants who vanished without a trace. Some said it was illness, others that she was merely strict. But the truth was far worse. Delphine LaLaurie wasn't just another wealthy woman in 1830s New Orleans. She was a socialite, married 3 times, and surrounded by the elite of Creole society. She hosted extravagant parties in her elegant Royal Street mansion. To the public, she was seen as charming, refined, even generous to her slaves. But that image was a lie. At the time, New Orleans had a complicated relationship with slavery. While it was legal and widespread, the city had stricter laws than other parts of the South. There were regulations meant to protect enslaved people from cruel punishments, on paper at least, but in practice abuse was common and rarely punished unless it caused public scandal, and that's exactly what happened here. LaLaurie's reputation began to crack when neighbors noticed strange things, screams at night, enslaved servants who seemed terrified, and a young girl who, according to legend, leapt from the roof to escape punishment. Even in a society built on slavery, what was discovered in her attic shocked the city. It wasn't just cruelty, it was calculated, methodical torture, mutilation, starvation, medical experimentation. That's what made it such a scandal. She went beyond even what that brutal system condoned. On April 10, 1834, a fire broke out in the mansion's kitchen. Neighbors rushed to help. What they found upstairs made seasoned men weep. In a locked attic room, chained and broken bodies lay scattered, mutilated, starved, some still alive, barely. It wasn't punishment, it was torture. The public was horrified. A mob formed, but Delphine escaped in the chaos, reportedly fleeing to France. She was never brought to justice. The LaLaurie Mansion has never known peace. For nearly 200 years, stories of shadow figures, wailing cries, and phantom footsteps have plagued its halls. Tenants over the decades have fled, some within days, claiming the screams never stop. One man, a real estate investor, jumped to his death from the top floor. He left behind a single note: "They would not let me sleep." Even paranormal investigators have called the energy inside unbearable. It's said that Delphine's victims still remain trapped in torment. Some even say she returned to join them. Even after nearly 2 centuries, the LaLaurie Mansion hasn't found peace. In fact, it's widely considered one of the most haunted places in America. Visitors walking past at night often report an overwhelming sense of dread, like being watched. Some claim to hear screams or weeping coming from behind the locked gates, even though no one's lived there in years. Paranormal investigators have captured disturbing EVPs, ghostly voices picked up on audio equipment. Cold spots are frequently detected on thermal cameras, and more than one guest has seen shadowy figures moving in the upper windows, where the attic once held its secrets. Even Nicolas Cage, who briefly owned the mansion in the early 2000s, described it as deeply unsettling. He sold it just a few years later and never lived there. Today, the mansion remains privately owned and closed to the public. No overnight tours, no sleepovers, and according to locals, no one stays there long. Whatever happened inside those walls, it left something behind. Delphine LaLaurie has become more than a historical figure. She's a ghost story, a boogeyman, a myth wrapped in truth. But why? Because what happened in that house isn't just history. It's a warning, a wound. In Louisiana folklore, spirits bound by rage and pain are never truly gone. They linger, especially in places that feed on suffering. The LaLaurie Mansion isn't just haunted, it's cursed, a monument to cruelty and the silence that once protected it. So if you ever visit Royal Street and pass the mansion with the shuttered windows, don't stop. Don't stare too long. And if you hear screaming, it's already too late. If this haunted history sent chills down your spine, subscribe to Salazar's Timeless Treasures for more dark legends and terrifying tales. And tell me in the comments, should I uncover the real horrors of the Amityville house next?